Welcome to Legally Ponzanelli, a podcast dedicated to the real stories behind the legal profession. I'm your host, Stephanie Ponzanelli, a law graduate from the University of Arkansas School of Law. Each week, we will hear from different law graduates, attorneys, and recently licensed attorneys who share candid conversations, practical advice, and real experiences that show you just how different everyone's journey into the legal profession can be. This episode is sponsored by Belmonte, a skincare and lifestyle brand centered around the reminder to stay still, grounded, and present. A huge thank you to Kaplan Bar Prep for partnering with the podcast. I personally loved using Kaplan this time around for the bar exam, and I'm really excited to share the discount with you guys. If you or someone you know is getting ready to take the bar exam, definitely check out Kaplan Bar Prep and make sure to use our code PASSWITHPONZ, PASSWITHPONZ. You'll save $100 off your Kaplan Bar Prep course, and that stacks on any sale they have going on. You can also use that same code for 20% off Kaplan supplements. That includes their flashcards, their PMBR, and any other supplements on their website for the bar exam. Also, one of my favorite parts of using Kaplan Bar Prep was having access to a bar coach that I could meet with as often as I needed. Having someone there to answer questions, keep me accountable, and help me through the process made such a difference. I'd also like to thank Las Comadres Meal Club for sponsoring this month's guest gifts. Las Comadres Meal Club is a monthly Happy Meal subscription celebrating Latina pop culture, nostalgia, and creativity. Every package feels like a little cartita from your favorite comadre, filled with stickers, artwork, and surprises. I personally love receiving mine in the mail every month. As a Latina, it's always an honor to support and partner with Latina-owned businesses. All right, let's dive right in. Can you please say hi and reintroduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, my name is Kaya Cochran. I went to Howard University School of Law and graduated May of 2025.
And you are one of the victims of the July 2026 Washington bar exam, right?
Yes, indeed. With great unfortune.
So, what the happened?
I think I'm gonna back up a bit to what the NextGen Bar Exam is, so people
Yeah.
really understand, what's going on. So this isn't the regular bar exam that a lot of other UBE states took. I think the regular bar exam, you do only one portion, like one day on your laptop. You write your essays on your laptop and then you take it home and then you have to upload your results. So there's no Wi-Fi needed. Now what the next gen bar exam is supposed to be for more inclusive, more like lawyer practicing skills, and more like real life situations more than like the traditional bar exam has been.
Sorry, I was going to say, I know from my UBE, because in Arkansas, we did have to get on a specific Wi-Fi that they had for the bar exam, and we uploaded
Oh.
there. So I don't know if that's different everywhere. I didn't know that, actually.
When I took it in February and last July, we had to just upload it on our own Wi-Fi by I think Friday, 11:59.
That's so weird. Okay.
Which is like putting a lot of trust in people that like mind-numbingly just, studied for 3 months straight, but whatever. Uh, I guess it really does vary by state, but overall,
hmm
Wi-Fi is not needed during the exam portion of it. And if something goes wrong with your laptop or something's not working, then they'll give you pen and paper and you just got to start writing, which sucks. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
it's a backup option for you to still continue to take the test.
And I will say, because the bar is notoriously frustrating, if you don't schedule to have your laptop used for the bar exam, you're not allowed to use it. So if
Yeah.
you don't meet the deadline,
And
you're writing everything.
it's not even registering. It's paying to use your own laptop at the bar.
Yes, because we need to add more fees to everything. I forget.
Right. And so now for the next gen bar exam, obviously there's a huge difference in everything about it.
Mhm.
But instead of having like one day is all essays, next day is all multiple choice. It's all together, 3 sections, 40 multiple choice integrated question sets, and then your PTs. You do it all in one, and I guess you need Wi-Fi to do that. Who knows
W
why? I don't know. It's a day and a half. So each section
Oh,
has
okay.
all 3 components. So instead of, like, it's being
Oh.
separate.
So
Mhm.
you have multiple choice, short answer, and MPT each
Yep.
3 individual times?
Yep. And,
Wow. I didn't know
so
that.
you'll have, like, an integrated question set and like, a PT, but you don't know what kind of PT it will be. So there's 2 types of PTs. Yeah, so basically it's like, um, it's a
It
whole
look
fact pattern. I don't know, maybe I should just let me pull up my Kaplan or something so it's easier to
Wait, is
show.
that the bar prep
If
you're
I can
using?
my gosh, yes, actually, and I am very thankful for Kaplan. They actually emailed me, Wednesday morning once they heard about the chaos in Washington,
Mhm.
and, immediately had something to figure out how to extend my bar prep depending on what was going on. So, no matter what, Kaplan's got my back. I appreciate them.
Yes. No, that's so awesome. I didn't know they did that, but I'm glad at least someone's on top of it.
So, we had this new exam software as well. Because what did you use for the exam software?
ExamSoft?
Okay. So we used, the NCBE secure browser. We had to download that, pay $150 for it. Um, yep,
What?
yep,
ExamSoft is free, that's crazy. But the
and
NCBE owns this downloading program?
it's like the tech fee, but you have to pay the tech fee in order to download the NCBE software, so, um yeah, and so they told us, like, "Oh, if you don't bring your laptop or something happens, like, you can't take the exam because there's no paper option." So it's like they genuinely had 0 actual backup options in case everything went wrong, and spoiler alert, it did.
Can I ask you how much was it to sit for this exam?
750,
Mhm,
for just the bar exam, like, costs.
mhm.
And then 150 for the laptop fee, which I think ended up being like 170 with like taxes and whatever. And don't
Gov
forget the exam is in Yakima, Washington. You may have heard it once on iCarly and then never again. But Yakima has no major airport. Is two at least 2 hours from Seattle. Um and, like, nowhere near any of the law schools in Washington. So no matter what, unless you were deciding to drive at least 2 hours each day of the exam, you had to get a hotel or had to have some type of accommodation to stay in Yakima.
I just wanna let the listeners know because I just did a quick math. I know that you guys had more than 600 people sign up for this, but if 600 people paid $750, just that, not including the internet fee, that's $450,000. They don't even provide food for you, and you separately had to pay the fee to use your own computer.
Mhm.
So, I think that's extremely frustrating that they didn't have a backup plan and they profited that much money off of all of you.
Yep, and they have not actually offered a refund. You can only get a refund if you decide not to take the exam.
So even though you couldn't sit for it that day, they're like, "We're keeping your money. Let
Yeah,
us know
and
when you wanna go do it
actually,
again." Uh-huh.
I think we just got an email today if we, decide to transfer to September or February, we have to contact the NCPE, like, we don't automatically get the laptop fee refunded. We have to contact them to get it refunded just to pay it again. So
This is insane. I mean, it's not like they're
mhm.
hurting for money. They get paid from so many people.
And it's like
I'm
their job is
Yeah.
literally to make an exam and then administer it.
Also, who decided to pick Yakima? Whose idea was that?
That is the age because the thing is, in what world do you think Yakima can, like, support 700 people taking an exam all at once? And it was hot in that room. Like, I heard only, like, half of the room had working AC. It was dripping on someone. Like, I don't know. And that's another thing is it's like so much is going on and we have so little real communication about it that it's like becoming this like rumor cesspool of like no one actually knows what's going on. Like we had the IT people, I'm putting that in quotation marks because I don't think any of those people had any type of certifications in technology because they were just clicking around. What do you mean hour 4 you're telling me turn my Wi-Fi on and off? We're past that. We are past that.
Well, but while we get into this, tell me what your day looked like. Like, what time did you get up? Even
Yeah.
before we get into that, like, I just want to take a moment for everything you did before even going here. You had to take off
Mhm.
work, right, to study for the
Yes,
bar.
I actually and I'm thankful that my job let me do this and it feels like it went to waste, but I was able to take an entire month off of work. And like that wasn't a decision I took lightly. That means I'm not getting paid for an entire month. That means like even when I come back, my paycheck will be very light. And, again, it's like thankfully I was able to do it, but now it's like for what?
Yeah. So you had to take a huge loss financially so that you could take time to focus on this test. You had to book a
Mhm.
hotel because it was far away. For the listeners, the bar exam is very, very strict. They told me every single day, every single time I left the room and
Mhm.
came back, if you are late, you cannot sit for this exam. If you are a minute
Yep.
late, we do not care. You do not get to sit for this. So it's like I hear some people could maybe be like, "Oh, you could drive in the morning and save money." It's like, yeah, but then you have that anxiety if there's a car wreck, if there's something happens, they don't
Right.
care. If you're not there, you gotta wait 6 months for the exam again.
Yeah, they told us if you weren't in your seats by 8:15, you cannot take the exam and you can't even come the next day or the next section.
Yeah.
So
So
it's like, okay, you have all these strict rules for me,
mhm.
but there's no repercussions for you.
Exactly. So very frustrating. So not only have people lost time off work, money, lots of money just to even get there. Bar prep alone is so expensive.
Yep.
And so you get there. So tell me what time you got up and what that looked like for you.
Yeah, so I drove into Yakima on Monday, and a side note, I had a horrible time at the hotel that was right across from the convention center, so one can only assume most people were staying there. Horrible hotel. But I finally got into my hotel, went to bed. I woke up at, I wanna say 6:20,
Mhm.
um, just to shower, get ready, and just because, like, I've taken the bar exam before, I know I don't need to be there right at 6:30, but they tell you doors open at 6:30, like, registration, you gotta register, you gotta get this, you gotta get that, like, don't be late. So it's like, obviously, people are gonna be stressed and get there right at 6:30, and I don't blame them. I got there at, like, maybe 7:20, and so I'm in there, the lines are long. For some reason, everyone has an A through C last name, so I'm fucked, you know, so, we're just waiting, and keep in mind, I think this is also, like, an extra added stressor. I did not go to school in Washington. I don't know many people who went to school in Washington or, like, the ones that I do, like, are the people that aren't taking the exam anymore. And
Mhm.
so I knew one single other person there. And so it wasn't like I had a community there, like UW
Yeah.
and Seattle U had like lunch for their students there, but not for any of the people that didn't go to school there. So,
Mhm.
walking in, you get there, I'm listening to my hype up music before I go into the exam room. I go in, I'm in my seat, I'm just silently getting myself like mentally ready. And in the beginning, I was able to get onto the Wi-Fi and to the exam software. So I did that. I was on the exam software. I was on it, so that means I can't see what time it is anymore.
Yeah,
Time
it
is
shuts
passing
down
by, and I have
everything.
no concept. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're supposed to be in our seats, so it's not like I'm getting up and doing anything. I'm literally just sitting down.
Mhm.
And then you slowly start to see, like, more and more people are raising their technology card up because they have 4 pieces of paper on our shared table. There's 2 of us at each table, and it's one is like, "Raise this card if you have tech issues. Raise this card if you need to use the bathroom. Raise this," and then one was like, what the Wi-Fi password was, and I don't remember what the other one was. But keep in mind, there was only 1 paper per thing. So it's like both of us couldn't raise our tech issue paper up at the same time because there was only 1. Which also feels like poor planning, but whatever. So you start seeing this like sea of yellow, like bright yellow papers up in the air. Or honestly, I don't even remember what color it is. Like, that's how stressed I am about this whole thing. But I'm gonna pretend
Yeah.
it's yellow for this sake. And then we're like, okay, what's going on? There's no announcements, and the proctors are just talking to people that are having tech issues. So it's like, okay, like I get up, I'm talking to my friend, and we're just waiting for something to happen. And then I think they finally make an announcement. Again, when I tell you, I have no idea what time it is throughout any of this, but I think it's maybe around 9 a.m. Like, they're making an announcement. They're like, hey guys, like, we're having some issues, blah, blah, blah. Like, we're gonna ask everyone to try this, try that, try this, try that.
Mhm.
Um, and then I think at some point they were like, okay, well, we're still figuring it out. So you guys, like, feel free to, walk around, but like, do not leave because you need to be within earshot when we get called back ready to do the exam. So it's not like we could go back to our hotels and relax, eat anything. Like, we were just
Mhm.
there. So yeah, that was the first part of the morning.
Mm.
And then I think like 2 separate times they were like, "Guys, come back in, come back in." And so we were like, "Okay, it's starting. We're getting ready." We're back in. Mind you, I'm not even in exam mode anymore. We're sitting, but at some point when they called us to come back in, my browser now stopped working. And so at first they were like, there's an issue with the MacBooks. We know that. But I don't even think that was true because it was people who didn't have MacBooks that were having issues as well. So it was like, it can't be a MacBook issue if everyone's having the issue.
Yeah.
And then now we're like fast forward in time. It's around 11. Mine is completely not working. I'm literally just looking at pictures of my bunnies because I don't know what to
Aw.
do. Like, and plus, I don't know if we're even allowed to open any study materials while we're in this secured room.
Wait, were you allowed to have your phone or no?
No, our phones weren't allowed in the testing room at all. So they were like in a separate room or something. But at 11 is when they were like, okay, so what we're going to do is start the exam for the people who can start, like the ones who's not having any technical difficulties. And then 20 minutes later, we're going to start the other people because that's what other states did. Mind you, we're on the West Coast. Other states were having these issues at 5 a.m. our time. How are you just figuring this out? You know?
Mhm.
That's just one issue. Right. Um
Mhm.
so the entire room erupted and like, we haven't eaten and it's almost lunchtime. Like, we're supposed to
Yeah.
be at lunch at 11:30. Um,
Yeah.
and so it's like, so now we have to be in, like, we were just anxiously all wandering around in this room, no lunch, and now we have to start the exam. Like, that's ridiculous. And
Yeah. And
so
that's
they
3
were
more
like,
hours without food.
right. And they were like, "Okay, wait, guys, like, let me contact the NCBE and we'll see what they say if you guys are allowed to have lunch. They just thought you guys would wanna get started." Yeah, I wanted to get started at 8:15 a.m. when you told me I'd get started.
Yeah. Now it's 11:30 and you
So
want me to get started and hopefully this works.
right. And
Wow.
again, I feel like I need to say this every couple minutes. We are in Yakima. There's nothing going on in Yakima, and I don't ever wish to be back.
Mhm.
No offense to the residents of Yakima, but wasn't for me. And so they let us out for a 40-minute lunch.
Mhm.
Told us we needed to be back by 11:45 in our seats. No exceptions.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they told us that the NCBE said we could not be on our phones.
They didn't want it to go public, probably.
Right. And my thing is, like, first of all, there's no way you're telling me what to do right now.
On your lunch break, you couldn't be on your phone? Is
Yeah,
that what
like,
they're
that's what I'm saying,
saying?
like, normally, you're allowed to be on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying, like, you cannot be on your phone at all, like, first of all, like, I
Oh.
need to, like, you for what about people who needed to get back to their hotels for their lunch, needed, directions, like, that's just a ridiculous request, and normally, we're allowed to be on our phones during our lunch break, like, that's when people call their loved ones, like, for reassurance or literally whatever you want to do, because they
Yeah.
should not be policing what we're doing in our lunch. Just because, they failed to get us started on the exam on a software that they have been technically getting ready for years.
Did you have some food or
So, I went across the street to Taco Bell because my friend's hotel was about 10 minutes away, so I didn't wanna just leave her. Um, but I ended up only being able to eat, like, 1 taco by the time I got my food, and then there was one other person who's I guess Taco Bell was taking, like, 10,000,000 years on their order, which is like, this isn't Taco Bell's fault. I honestly defend them most times in my life.
Mhm.
Again, I knew about this, lettuce outbreak, and I still was willing to go to Taco Bell, like, nothing can
That's
change my mind.
crazy.
But they I really was risking it all. But they, took forever to make their sandwich or, their burrito, and so, like, we literally had to be back. It was 11:42. We were like, "We need to get back to the exam room or we can't take the exam." Um, and so I was like, "Here, have my extra taco." Like, I didn't even get to eat it.
Yeah.
And so we literally were walking and eating back to the exam room.
That's so sweet of you.
It's like, I'm not gonna be able to eat it, and after 3
Yeah.
hours of whatever the hell is about to go on,
Yeah.
um,
No,
and
for
so
sure.
11:45, we're all back. So this is what happens next. They're like, "Okay, we're gonna get started. For the people that the exam software's up and it's working for you, like, we're gonna start you first." And so I'm not part of that group anymore. I
Mhm.
was, and then I got kicked out. So they start saying the directions, and then I don't remember what happened first, but they were like, "Okay, so, like, the second wave of people, if yours is not starting by, like, 12:20, then just, bring your stuff, come outside, and then, like, we'll have a conversation about what your options are."
Come
How is that good
outside.
enough? Right, so it's like, once we leave, we're not allowed back in. Like,
Yeah,
once I take
yeah.
my laptop, like, right? You're
We know
you're
what
you're
this
not gonna
works.
let me back in, I know you're not.
Yeah. That's crazy
So
because
it's like,
I was
"No."
immediately clocked that. I was like, "Wait a minute."
Because I was like, "No, I need to know what my options are now." I needed to know what my options were 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
And again, like, they told people, like, "Okay, like, if you don't wanna deal with this, like, you can just go and, like, we can change your registration to February or get a reimbursement." And, like, that is that's not good enough. Also, keep in
No.
mind, change your registration or get a reimbursement. Pay me my money no matter what happens after this.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, and February is a long time away, it's not around the corner
Mhm.
thing, so and just for the
And it's
listeners who
like
don't know this, if you're not licensed, you can't practice law. If you take it in February, you still have to wait X amount of months to get your results back to find out if you pass, so, like, this is over a year of waiting. That's
mhm, and
ridiculous.
and to put it in perspective, like, obviously, there's people that are going into big law, big firms have a lot of money, who knows what they do when people don't pass the bar or what happens. But I work at the Department of Public Defense, and they have constitutional money standards of who they can hire and what they can do. that they have to argue for each year. And, that's something that has been a really big topic as of recent because Washington State recently changed their caseload standards. So, the world always needs attorneys, the world always needs public defenders, but that means we need even more to keep up with those standards to ensure that public defenders aren't burning out, that they can give adequate representation. Because again, it's not just a money sum, it's people's liberty that we are fighting for. And so I'm thankful, I've talked about this before, but when I didn't pass the July bar, my job worked with me and they said, we want you, let's get you to be an investigator. So that's what I am right now. And I am so thankful that I still get to work with all of my colleagues. Like, I'm still close with my starting class, but they can't do that for an entire class. And I think this new class is around 30 people. They can't do that for 30 people because they don't have the budget. Like, we're
Yeah.
already fighting tooth and nail to have a budget to help our clients. What's going
Yeah.
to happen? No one knows. And public defenders are already overworked. And now we're losing 700 attorneys in the state of Washington.
Yeah. So they tell you, okay, if you can't get logged in, come outside and we'll talk to you. Did you have to do that?
That's our option. No, so basically what happened, so before we could even get to that option, they, the people who it's working for get to the load screen that they're supposed to be on. It like shows your name and then it's waiting for proctor something, whatever. And so at that point, the proctor has to go in and press accept for all the people that are ready to take the exam. Because
Gotcha.
another thing too, you know how your exam they tell you, okay, time's up, everyone stop writing. For these, I think it's all a personal timer. So it depends on like when you get into the exam. So the people who were going to start late would still have the full 3 hours.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And so they were waiting for that. And at some point, they made an announcement. They're like, sorry, guys, the proctor's Wi Fi went out. So, all right. What are we doing here?
Wait,
And
before
so,
that, so did you guys have a successful first round of people log in or no? So you never even got to round 2 wave because you couldn't even get
nope,
past the first wave. Okay. Okay.
nope. So they're getting to that. And so the proctor randomly, like, I feel like 30 minutes after that was like, okay, you should be seeing the countdown. And you can go ahead and get started. And people were like, no, we can't because it wasn't working for anyone anymore.
This is insane.
So, the backup plan didn't work. It wasn't even a real backup plan, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
so you now have the people that were supposed to start, and it was supposed to refresh the bandwidth so it wasn't overworking, and they can't even get past the loading screen anymore. Like, it just says their name and it's just circling. And I think this is around like 1 p.m. at this point. So we've been in here for another hour.
Yeah.
Um, just again waiting for what's happening. And it's like, genuinely, even if someone did get in, how are you testing in those conditions?
With everyone else screaming like, "Mine won't let me in," as well. I bet that would be stressful.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just so unbelievable that they were just, okay, guys. I think at that point I had like walking out again and I was like in the hallway. They brought us back in. They're like, okay, everyone sit down. They're like, okay, guys, like, we can't get it to work. So just go home. But like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, maybe tomorrow we'll do 2 sections and then move it to Thursday. I want to remind you, people fly in for the bar exam. People travel for the bar exam. People have hotels for this bar exam. Again, we're in the middle of nowhere. So everyone was like, oh my God, do we need to extend our hotel stay? Do I need to change my flights? Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And so at my hotel, there is a long line of people trying to extend their hotel stay. And I was just going to hope for the best that none of my stuff gets stolen in my car while I'm taking the exam. But a whole bunch of people were trying to extend their hotel stay, calling in to change their flights because they've sent us back to our hotels at this point with literally maybes. They were like, okay, if
Mm-hmm.
it works tomorrow, then maybe we'll do this. Or so the options at that point were, bullshit refund, move your exam to February, no
Mm-hmm.
refund, remember that, or come tomorrow morning and hope something's happening. And then you'll either take 2 sections and then stay to Thursday, or maybe we'll do all 3 sections in one day.
Because 9
And
hours of
my,
testing sounds great.
mhm. And again, I think it's really important to know that this was supposed to be a half day. The second day is supposed to be a half day. People
Mm-hmm.
traveled in and they made their accommodations based on it supposed to being a half day.
Yeah.
Like even doing 2 sections in one day was not doable for so many people.
Yeah.
So, like, genuinely, there was no option that was fair. There was eh, there was nothing that made sense. I think maybe I got back to my hotel at like 2, because I dropped my friend off because they didn't have their phone, so they didn't have their aunt to come pick them up because they tell you don't bring things you don't want to get stolen, blah blah blah. So I get back. Yeah, okay. So at 4:53 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
they sent, "Dear applicant, with deep regret, I write to inform you that Washington's July 2026 administration of the NextGen Bar Exam has been canceled." And they said, the WSBA has been investigating and researching options for applicants. While we continue to explore other alternatives, you have 3 options at this time. And that's take a makeup exam in September
Mm-hmm.
that is tentatively scheduled for the 1st and 2nd. Again, no real guarantee of anything. It says it's in Tacoma, which the exam should have been there in the first place. And then
Okay.
2, transfer your application to February 2027 in Tacoma. Or 3, withdraw your application and we will issue a refund. And you will need to contact the NCBE regarding the technology fee.
And you guys had already, well, thankfully you hadn't done this, but people had already gotten in line to extend their hotel because they were told they could come the next day to now get this
Yeah.
email. So we don't even know if they get that money back
Mhm. And
or
it
change
wasn't
their
just that people.
flights.
Right, and it wasn't that people were just extending their hotels, they were finding new hotels. Because again, we're in Yakima. There isn't much going on in Yakima, and I think the hotel that I was at, again, it's, like, connected to the conference center, not connected, but it's, like, right across from it, and they had another, like, event going on. Like, I think the next day in the hotel, I saw people. I don't know who they were. They kinda looked like flight attendants. So they had another group booking this entire hotel. So the hotel didn't even have the bandwidth to let people extend their stays. So people had to find other hotels, book non-refundable fees, and now what?
Jeez. Yeah. That's insane. So tell me, what were your thoughts when you got that email? What did you do in this time?
Yeah, so I was already planning on getting dinner with my friend because what else was there to do? And I was just in such disbelief because who can just pick up at the drop of the dime, like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll make arrangements for maybe September 1st and 2nd."
Hmm.
I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can get the time off anymore. I just spent an entire month off of work. And then they didn't even say when will our results be out. We have no idea. Also, will the exam be the same exam that other people got to take in the UBE, or is it a new exam? And how was that going to be graded?
Yeah.
Also, something that I didn't think about, but like the only people that got to take the exam are the people who have accommodations. And something that I didn't realize until I saw someone's comment, I think on Reddit, is that now the people with accommodations, whenever they get their results, it will out them as having accommodations. And while I want to say that this is a perfect world and people aren't discriminating against people who need accommodations, that's simply not true.
That's crazy. I didn't even think of that. Good point.
It's an even larger issue because even in law school, we know that professors are not supposed to talk about students who have accommodations, not supposed to out students who have accommodations. So, what's going to happen? Genuinely.
I didn't even think of that. That is such a good point.
Yeah, and I didn't think about that either. Also, how lonely is that to be the only people in the state taking the exam, coming out and having no idea what happened?
Yeah. And how is that gonna get
And
graded? And how many people have accommodations?
exactly,
Yeah.
because I genuinely have no idea what the scaling is like.
So you get this email. At this point, you can't even cancel your hotel room and go home because you already stayed past the time that check-in would be.
Well, also, by the time I'm, like, done eating, it's 7 p.m. Am I gonna start driving then? Like, no, it's gonna be dark, it's gonna be a horrible drive. I am alone. I didn't come here with anyone. I am a young Black woman in, like, the middle of nowhere, you know? Nothing about that makes sense to me to drive late at night by
Yeah.
myself. Again, this world is a scary place, and especially
Yeah.
for people that look like me and you. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous.
So you went back, you stayed there, woke up the next day, and did you, like, come back immediately, or how did that go?
So I woke up, I checked my email to see if there was anything from the Supreme Court. I checked Reddit to see if anyone had any new information. I checked like Bloomberg Law. I was like, there has to be something, you know, like
Mhm.
there has to be an update. There has to be a communication. And there's nothing. And I genuinely had no idea what to do with myself. I was like, I have this hotel. Like, I'm forced to have this hotel.
Mhm.
And like what do I do? And so I just started packing up, putting my stuff in my car. I went to the hotel like desk and I was like, I want to check out. So and my checkout would have originally been for Thursday morning, so I wouldn't have to worry about packing the day of the exam Wednesday.
Yeah.
Since checkouts usually like what 11 or 12. And so I had my hotel stay till Thursday. I don't know if I got refunded for that. I have no idea. Like,
I
I
hope so.
genuinely, like, couldn't even think to ask questions like that because I was supposed to be taking the exam. I was sitting around wandering when I'm supposed to be taking an exam.
And did you reach out to anyone to talk about your
Oh, yeah.
frustration?
I did forget. So on Wednesday, right after we got that email, I called the WSBA and I left a voicemail. And they actually had called me back the next day when I woke up. They called me back at around like 12. I was just telling them how ridiculous this all was. And it was just an intake person. And so I explained my frustration, one, with how the communication went during the exam. I expressed my frustration about how we weren't actually offered a refund, like,
Yeah.
because they should be compensating us for more than just the exam fee, first of all. But when I went into that room, I could count how many Black people were in the room. We need lawyers in Washington. That's been proven. We've all been talking about it for a year. The next gen bar exam was supposed to be more inclusive. It was supposed to lift some of those barriers that have historically stopped people of color from being able to be lawyers. And I was like, as a Black woman myself, like, this is completely disheartening. Like, and I'm just thinking about they say, "Oh, makeup exam in September, come back for February." How many of the Black people in that room have the resources to do that? How many people in the room have the resources to do that? You know, this is a generational barrier
Mhm.
because of racism. And it's becoming like who has enough money to come back in September? Who has enough money to study again in February? And so it's just so ridiculous and it's
Yeah.
genuinely just coming down to who who can afford it.
Yeah. What did she
And
say?
I mean, she was just an intake person, so there wasn't much for her to say. But, I do think she was really kind. I appreciated the call, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that, like, that is quite literally the bare minimum. And they did say that they were taking a tally system, however they do it, saying what people think the real options should be. And, I kept hearing the word diploma privilege being thrown around. I didn't know about that. They did it during COVID. But the more I think about it, diploma privilege isn't even enough because not just people who have JDs take the bar exam,
Yeah.
especially in Washington. Like, you had someone on your podcast who was a Rule 9 intern. And Washington created those programs to, again, break those barriers for people that systemically cannot infiltrate attorney field.
Yeah.
And then so it's like, what? We just forget about them? And now they can't even practice under their license, their Rule 9 licenses. Like someone in front of me was saying that his license expires in November. And diploma privilege, yeah, obviously that would be great, but that also leaves out so many people who probably, in all honesty, there's so many more hurdles people have to go through, like LLMs, because I know
Yeah.
someone was talking about how they went to an non-ABA accredited law school and then also had to get an LLM to be able to sit for Washington's bar exam because Washington has intentionally tried to make it more inclusive for people to pass and for people to be able to take this exam. So everyone needs to pass because I think, like, for me, the solution is that everyone gets the waiver, everyone passes, and then if you would like to take the exam again, like to get a score to waive into another place, you should be able to do that for free, either the makeup exam or February.
Agreed. And then still reimburse everyone.
Yes, reimbursement shouldn't even be a question, no matter what
Yeah.
happens at the end of this. I
Yeah.
should not have to pay for an exam that I was scheduled to take Tuesday and Wednesday and did not get to take.
Yeah, because if you didn't show up, they're still taking your money.
Right.
I think that's another thing.
And
So, like,
they
yeah.
even said there's, like, they put a frequently asked questions thing. They were like, "Oh, like, if I, was supposed to take the exam, but, like, I didn't come that day, do I get a refund?" They were like, "No."
Can you explain to the listeners what diploma privilege is?
Yeah, so in 2020, when the bar examiners were talking about how are we going to do this with COVID? Like, we can't have that many people together in a room, yada, yada, yada. But Washington State decided that due to extraordinary circumstances, like beyond the tester's control, that everyone who graduated from an ABA accredited law school passed, like, was waived in. And I don't know, I don't know if that looks different. Like, I don't know if I don't get the same license. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But also they said, "Oh, extreme circumstances." And COVID was a horrible time, a national pandemic, a worldwide pandemic, but the tech issues completely within the control of the WSBA and the NCBE.
Yeah.
And so we are being punished for their unpreparedness for something that anyone with a singular brain cell could have predicted happening.
And do you think that might be something that's on the table? Do you think they're
I mean,
considering?
so we were told that the Supreme Court is aware and they're talking about it. We actually got, a message today
Mhm.
saying that we know, basically, we hear you, we see you, but, no real substance. But as far as I know, in order to do diploma privilege or anything like that, the Supreme Court would need to vote. The Washington Supreme Court would need to vote on that.
Mhm.
Um, and so who knows how long that takes. And and you have people online saying that's ridiculous. They don't deserve to be weighed in just because of that. And it's like every lawyer that's been disbarred and disciplined has been barred. So this test doesn't mean you're going to be a good lawyer or not. It has never meant
Yeah.
that. So that is just ridiculous, ridiculous thing because you can't sign up for the bar exam for no reason. Like, you can't just go in there and be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm signed up for the bar exam." You
Yeah.
you have some type of credential. You've done some type of work to get you there. And the fact that you have people talking about like, "Well, I had to take the exam on pen and paper. I had to take the exam like this." I don't care what you had to do. I didn't even get to take this exam.
Yeah. I will say, as someone who sat for the bar, it would not bother me one bit. If anything, I'm very much like, yes, diploma privilege. Yes, please give that to all of them. Call it something
Yeah.
different, not diploma privilege, because you guys have that incredible program. Like,
Mhm.
just wave everyone in and call it a day. And the people who are
Mhm.
being mean about it, first of all, I'm like, why do you care? Like, because you suffered, everyone else has to. That's
Right.
selfish.
It's
That's
it's
mean.
the same thing with student loans. Even if there's a world where I have to pay back every single cent of mine, if the next generation gets theirs completely forgiven, I would be grateful because
Yeah.
that means it's a better world for everyone.
Yeah.
And no matter what we would have scored
Mhm.
when we would have gotten our results in October, everyone studied for that exam. Everyone showed up
Yes.
for that exam.
Yeah.
Everyone worked hard, however many years, because some of us went to law school. Some of us went to law schools in other countries. Some of us did the Rule 9 program, which is like 5 years long. Like, we've
Yeah.
all worked so hard for this. I haven't passed the bar twice now, right?
Yeah.
I've been discouraged. I've been, on the edge. But again, I didn't pass by what, 6 to 8 points. And, I've never felt like giving up so much than right now. And I don't want to. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know how I can just drop everything, keep
Mhm.
studying, and take it in September.
Yeah.
I don't have the money. I don't have the time. And like, I was ready to take it yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. But proud of you for studying and doing it and calling the Washington State Bar Association, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And voicing, like, your
Yeah.
concerns. And I know Mentor Ariana is doing something.
A lot of people are talking about reaching out to their local Washington representatives, especially because, elections are up. The people on the Supreme Court are up for election. And so we need to put pressure on everyone
Yeah.
because not having the possibility of 700 lawyers in the state of Washington, the repercussions are going to be insane. I
Yeah.
don't think people realize how much lawyers do. And it's not as simple as being like, oh, well, there's already lawyers, but there were supposed to be 700 more.
Yeah.
The bar exam in general is just a racist, sexist barrier to practicing law.
Yeah.
It does not define anyone who takes it. And it does not define how you will be as a lawyer. It
Yeah.
does not define who you are, and it will never do that.
Yeah. I'm hoping that even though this is terrible, I'm hoping that maybe this could be the wave or the push people needed. I think we need to get to the point where either we do something where everyone can pass.
People are acting like it doesn't exist, but Wisconsin has diploma privilege
Yeah.
for all
Yeah.
of the people who graduate in Wisconsin. Like,
Yeah.
we're acting like this is impossible, but
Yeah.
we have lawyers. I think the person who is president of the NCBE didn't even take the bar exam. Like, because they had diploma privilege in Wisconsin. Like, why are we forcing this subjective thing on everyone?
Wait, let me look that up because I know the NCBE is in Wisconsin, and, like, that would actually be insane that their own state doesn't require them to do this. Let
Mhm.
me look that up. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's the only state in the US that allows graduates from ABA-approved schools to be admitted without taking a bar exam. So, the very place who has the people creating this exam don't require them? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind.
Yep. So it's like, what are we doing here? Seriously.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And, and I think every professor I've ever had says, like, the bar exam doesn't mean you'll be a good lawyer.
Yeah.
It has never meant that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really sorry this happened. That's a lot mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Well, thank
Yeah,
you for
no.
taking time to talk to us about this. And
Yeah.
again, I'm really sorry this happened. This sucks. And I hope that they recognize that and do something that's helpful for people because of this.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, like, I'm still wishing who everyone who got to take the exam did amazing. Like, I can't wait to
Yeah.
hear about people's results, but, this sucks that my downfall is on the shoulders of the people who are supposed to make sure everything's okay.
Okay. But thank you so much for sharing everything with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. Spread the word.
Yeah, will do. That's it for today's episode. Again, I'm Stephanie Ponzanelli, and this is Legally Ponzanelli. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me and being part of this community. Don't forget to check out the link in our show notes. You'll be able to find our amazing sponsors, including Belmonte, Las Comadres Mail Club, and Kaplan Bar Prep. If you're preparing for the bar exam, be sure to use our code PASSWITHPONZ to save $100 off your Kaplan Bar Prep course or 20% off Kaplan supplements. You'll also find links to all of our social media platforms where you can follow along with the podcast, see who our next guest speaker will be, and stay updated on when new episodes are dropping. If you have comments, questions, or ideas for future guests, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at legallyponzanelli@gmail.com. And if you're a law graduate or attorney who wants to share your story, your journey, and what brought you where you are today, I would absolutely love to have you on the podcast. And of course, if you know me, you know I love coffee. So in the link, you can send a little coffee my way. Your support of the podcast, whether it's listening, sharing episodes, sending messages, or treating me to a coffee, means so much to me. Thank you again for listening, supporting Legally Ponzanelli, and being part of this community. I'll see you on the next episode.